So I'm not like in the face, in the
Yeah,
camera.
we are live. Good morning to healthierlife.tv. We're going to give it a little bit of time till we start. We've got about 90 seconds. So, Warren, tell me about your training. How's that going? You said you're training hard?
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I've been training hard. Yeah. After my little incident, I've managed. I'm back into training. So, and it's not really affecting me as much anymore. So it's good. I'm back into training hard, and it's like 35 degrees outside. So in the sun, and I'm training. That's that's how I like it. I like
Okay.
to challenge myself physically.
So, to better tell people, what did you do to have time off
Just
training?
what did I do to have time off training?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's got nothing to do with my age, by the way. But I fell down. I fell down the stairs. I was walking down the stairs with some flip flops, slops, and I wasn't walking carefully enough with flip flops. Tiled stairs, and fell down the stairs, slipped down, landed on the stair with this elbow like that, and had a nice deep cut all the way through. So, but I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna test one of our products on this actually.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna test the skin serum on this. I want to put the skin serum onto this now that the scab is healed. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
healed to the scab. The pinkness is going away. I want to put some skin serum on there and see if it impacts the scar. Yeah, I'll see. I'm gonna record it as well. But yeah, so I'm back.
Absolutely.
So I'm back into training and that. But I was just saying to Paul is because I'm feeling really lethargic today, and although I'm drinking sufficient water, and I'm having my electrolytes and my rock salt in my water, lemon juice, that kind of stuff. I'm just feeling flat today.
Fantastic. Well,
No,
I mean,
thanks, thanks. Cheers.
people should look. People could come on healthierlife.tv. There's you falling down the stairs. It's me falling out the bath. I know it was a bit well over 18 months ago. But yeah, we'll teach you how to fall. Not we're going
And
to work out
survive,
so you don't get injured.
survive the falls.
Yeah.
I've,
Anyway,
I have a fairly bad history with stairs. So I've dislocated both my ankles falling downstairs.
oh dear.
Yeah, so
Okay. All
fairly
right.
bad.
Well, moving on. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And welcome to healthylife.tv. We just had a bit of a
Cheers.
ramble on there about our training and accidents and things like that. So, Warren, do you want to say hello?
Good morning, everybody. And for those late viewers, good afternoon. And for the others on the other side of the world, good evening.
Yeah, because obviously this goes out on YouTube. It also goes out Facebook Live and a podcast. Podcast with the big S. Okay, so today's subject is the secret of a long and happy life. Okay. Now, it sounds a bit airy-fairy, so we'll cut it down a bit and you'll know exactly where we're going with this. And so what is the secret then, Warren?
Do you want me to give the answer?
Yes.
A generally optimistic outlook or disposition on life.
Very good. Very good. So, yeah, it's all about optimism. And I actually think this is very, very important. So think of it this way. If the water in your glass hovers around the midway point, would you tend to describe it as being half full, or would you describe it as being half empty? Now, your perceptions impact the way you see and interact with the world around you. And it's very, very important. I see, you hear this all the time, don't you, about the glass half full or half empty. I actually think that it's more important than just saying it. I think it's really important because it determines what type of person you are and what type of life you're going to lead, and whether you attract people towards you or actually repel them. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it determines, but I say it's definitely an indicator as to the type of person you are. And this is what I studied with neurolinguistic programming, is it? So it's the language that we're using with ourselves, even in the small things, that make such a huge difference into the type of person that we are or become, and the people we attract into our lives. So yes, you're right. Yeah, it's like it's for example, another example is yesterday I was training with 2 of my clients outside. It was hot and it was sticky because there was no air. There's no breeze or anything like that. And although we were in the shade, they were struggling a lot, and all they could see was the heat, and although I was standing there sticky and that as well, but I was waiting for them to just talk about the fact that they were actually outside, that they were outdoors and they weren't stuck inside somewhere. Although the air wasn't fresh, they were outside in the fresh air. They were next to a lake and all that. But unfortunately, neither one of them really took in that moment at all. All they focused on was the heat and the sweatiness and that, and the fact that they felt uncomfortable. For me, when I train outside, like yesterday, 35 degrees, 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon. Oh no, it was actually 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, about 35 degrees. I was just happy to be able to be outside at that time of the day and not stuck in an office. So there was, although it was uncomfortable and it was challenging, I was just happy to be able to do that at that time of the day. So yeah, it is how the words that we use and play are so important. They are so significant in terms of how we look at life in general. So, if you have a generally optimistic outlook in life, you will attract the right things into your life. It's a given.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it logically. Who would you want to be around?
Yeah.
Do you want to be around someone who's outward, bright, alive, optimistic, just generally, the feel-good factor type of thing? Or would you rather be around the grouch, the moaner? I mean, I know it's funny sometimes when we listen to people moaning. I get it.
It can be.
It can be. Like who's that bloke on television with Mrs. Bouquet? Did you ever see
Mrs.
Keeping Up Appearances, isn't it?
Keeping Up Appearances, something like that.
Yeah. I can't think of the bloke's.
But the Mrs.
Yeah,
Bucket.
I might be mixing 2 programs up, but I think that it is quite funny watching someone grouch and moan and murmur and have a pessimistic look in life and expecting everything to go wrong. Well, I can tell you now that today is really weird because I was doing, I did a bit of research on optimism and things like that yesterday and today, and I was hit with 3 things already today that if you were a pessimist, you'd be down. I'll tell you. I went, someone sent me this, haven't they? They've sent me this to try and test me out. So I just stuck my fingers up, saying I'm still going to be optimistic. So
there's so many opportunities to be pessimistic these days, aren't there? I mean, there's just so much around us that enables us to be pessimistic. So it's not easy to be optimistic. And what Paul and I are talking about is we're not talking about being that bubbly center of attention type of person, the shining light on everybody's presence. No, we're not talking about being that type of person necessarily, because that can also be overbearing and quite annoying at times.
Absolutely.
When you have somebody like that. But it's about it's how do you look at life around you when you see life around you? So are you looking at it as a half glass full, half glass empty type person, or are you just looking at it as being half a glass? If it's half a glass of water, it doesn't matter whether it's full or empty. It is what it is. But you can look at it as, well, okay, I've got half a glass of water that I can drink, or I've got half a glass of water. Damn, I wish I had a full glass of water because I'm thirsty.
Go fill it up.
Yeah, go fill it up. Yeah, exactly. Then you don't have the question anymore. So
Yeah. Some people look at it as if to say, I've got more washing up.
exactly.
The bottom line is the half glass full thingy, what's it? It's a cliche, okay? But it really can hit home. And it shows you what type of people that are around. Now, you can choose to be optimistic, you can choose to be pessimistic. That's your choice. But the other people around you have got the choice whether to stick with you. Okay, just remember that.
Yeah.
We can all cultivate optimism. All right. As I say, what you mentioned before, it doesn't have to be in your face, does it? I mean,
No.
it is a personality trait, one of many, I would imagine. So I think that optimism is the result of one of three things. One is genetics, one is environment, and one is experience. But I'd also throw in that it's an undercurrent, all right? Traits, undercurrents. So, let's say you're optimistic 95% of the time.
Yeah.
For me, it's the norm to be optimistic. I hate being around pessimistic people. I mean, I can't stand it really, to be fair.
Because they're energy vampires.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They suck the energy out of you, and don't want to be around them.
No.
Not at all. Unfortunately, some you have to be around, albeit a little bit. Okay, I ain't gonna say no more than that, but yeah. So I actually want to kidnap them and strap them to a chair and say, but I'm joking. But optimism can be learned. It's like everything else, It's like the born salesman. They say, "Oh, he's born to be a salesperson," No, they're not. They're not. They're optimistic and they've got forward thinking. They're confident, and optimism's like that. You've got to. If you're in sales, you've definitely got to be optimistic.
Sure, you need to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the other thing is when you're optimistic, if you want to look at from an energy point of view, like your energy, your natural energy that your body's gonna harness as a result of being optimistic is going to raise your energy inevitably. It'll raise your vibration inevitably. And then when you look at people like these natural born salesmen, like you referred to, Paul, is often when they're talking about what they're selling, they're not thinking about what they're talking about because they are so optimistic. Their energy is so high that they just literally if for choice of a better term or expression, I would say channeling that energy through them, that information. They're not thinking about it. They just do it. And this is why people think, that in order to be a good salesperson, you need to be a quick thinker or a fast talker. They're not thinking very often. When people are on that level, of selling, they're not thinking so much. It's just because they are so optimistic and positive about the possibilities that they just spew it out. And sometimes, as we say in our business, you're just throwing up all over people. You regurgitate.
I'm just about to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some optimistic people that do actually, as you say, vomit on you.
Yeah.
And okay, we just need to maybe tone it down a bit, But generally speaking, optimistic people are great to be around. Some people are intrinsically optimistic. And they see the positive side of absolutely every situation, the silver lining in every cloud and everything like that. And that's great. We've got to be realistic as well. Things are going to go wrong, but, in your life, like this morning, but it's how you react to it and how you deal with it, and look, there's opportunity in every challenge. The thing is with pessimists, they don't see the opportunity. Because they're looking to moan.
They're looking for.
This is just how I see things, and you should be. There's a lot of great stuff out there, even in bad times. I earned my most money, would you believe, in the recession of 2009.
Okay.
So, and I wasn't conning anyone or anything. It was just it was just I was doing something at that particular time, and it was just fortunate that it was during that time. It's weird, isn't it, how that works?
Well, I
Um,
mean, this is where the super wealthy remain super wealthy and the rich gain more wealth, is because they understand often where to make money in these times of recessions.
yeah,
Because they provide a service, or they have the means to piggyback off other people's pain, or other people's downfalls, or it's when people are hit with a recession, other people know how to bounce off that, and it's often they find the way because they are more optimistic about the market and and finances than the rest of us are. So therefore, they see the opportunities a lot sooner. And it's not, as you say, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're conning people, or you're swindling people, or you benefiting off the pain of other people necessarily, but
hmm
it does happen, obviously.
yeah,
I think from what I see, you were giving an example of how you see it. It's with people that are pessimistic generally. Is that too many of us have become um, too familiar with the idea of being a victim, in circumstances. And once you become a victim, you no longer see positive opportunities. All you will see are the negative repercussions of something, or the
yeah.
negative possibilities, the possible outcomes of something that is happening around you, because you immediately tie yourself or associate yourself to that issue, and you become the victim of it, directly or indirectly. And for me, this is one of the key psychological points that help people to overcome that, is that when they start to learn that being the victim it doesn't serve anybody
No, that's
other,
right.
yeah, other than
It's,
the people that are making money off you for being a victim.
and there are two types with the victim mentality: the ones that keep it inside and don't talk to anyone, and the other ones
Yeah,
that just keep moaning, not moaning, sorry, because it could be quite traumatic, but
yeah.
keep bringing it up all the time. And the best person I listened to who actually dealt with that was Tony Robbins,
Okay, yes.
because that's one of his big things.
Hmm.
He said, it does not matter what happened to you, you know, there are ways of getting over it,
Hmm. Hmm.
and so if anyone is subject to saying whether you are a victim, and I'm talking about serious situations, then go and listen to Tony Robbins,
Also,
because
Wayne Dyer was another big one as well. He was
Mhm.
he played the victim for most part of his younger life, and until one day he decided that that was the end of it. He could know, but he was, you know, his story is different to Tony Robbins's. And Wayne Dyer, before he passed away, was
Yeah,
considered the most influential spiritual person on the planet.
hmm yeah,
So for anybody out there that's listening to this that is more spiritually inclined, go listen to Wayne Dyer's story. He'll talk to you about when he wanted to go and pee on his father's grave,
yeah,
because that's how much anger and resentment he had, which he didn't do at the end of the day. But that point in his life was the turning point. That was the pivotal point in his life that helped him to become not a victim, no longer be the victim, but to look at life on a more positive outlook, more bigger picture. And this also helps people, I think, is if you start thinking about the bigger picture too, rather than looking at yourself only, because that's when you become the victim. So look at the bigger picture. What is actually going on around you, and how is whatever the situation, the circumstances that you're in, um, you know, how does that really play a part in your life? Does it really need to be part of who you are? And can you change that? And if you can
yeah,
change that, then change it. Change who you are in that moment. Many people become pessimistic and they become victims, and they start losing that positive outlook in life because of the political situation going on around them. Can you and I influence how politics is played out? No. You know, is people find their way in that spiral down because of the social impacts of life around us. Can we, for the most part, impact social events around us? No. If you can, then perhaps you can do something about it. And maybe that might help you to have a more rosier, more a positive outlook on life, because you have a cause, you have a purpose. So, take yourself out of the picture and look at the bigger picture. And if you can, find a purpose, find a cause to get yourself involved in that will give you a more of a positive outlook on life. Paul and I have a very powerful cause that we're both involved in. We really do. And that helps me. I don't know about Paul, but I can't speak for him, but it definitely helps me to have a more positive outlook on life, because I know that we have a very valid and very significant cause that we're part of, a movement, whatever you want to call it, but it's not about us, it's about the bigger picture. And being involved in that enables me personally to have a more positive outlook in life, even though I'm more naturally inclined to be that way in any case.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about. I think it's all about who you surround yourself with as well. I mean, you can't do, as I say, you can't do it all alone. But it's very easy to get embroiled in victimhood, and I just think that we've all been there. Look, we've all had things happen to us, some worse than others, obviously, and you've got to learn and move on.
It's funny that.
And don't forget it, don't bury it. Be aware of it, but you've got to deal with it.
Yeah, you don't want to forget it, because you need to be aware if it props up again.
Yeah, but you've got one life, haven't you? So, and that's what it's all about. So, what are the benefits of optimism? Now, because this is healthierlife.tv, I don't know if anyone was wondering why it was on here. And the reason being, and the first thing is, it's been suggested, and I totally agree with it, you probably end up having a longer lifespan if you're positive and optimistic rather than pessimistic. Would you agree?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You just look at aging couples, that are still in love with each other.
Some are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, and then just look at how vibrant their lives are. They're out and about, cycling every day, going to the pool, whatever, the beach, and swimming on a regular basis. They're outside in nature, and these are couples that have loving relationships. If you're not in a loving relationship, as Paul said, find people that you can associate with, that give you that power, give you that energy as well. Because then once you find those people, you will then it'll rub off on you, and then the likelihood of you living a happier, healthier, aged life was much, much stronger. But just something that you mentioned just now. You mentioned that you used the term victimhood.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny that there should be a word or a term called victimhood. Think of the word hood. It's like brotherhood, for example. Okay, it immediately implies that you're part of a collective. Now, that in itself, psychologically speaking, is a very powerful term to be used, for the wrong reasons. Because now people that are victims feel that they're part of a brotherhood or a victimhood, or some kind of togetherness. But in optimism, you don't have that, do you? You're either optimistic or there's optimism, but you don't have optimistic hood or anything like that, because you don't, because it comes from within you. Optimism comes from within you. You need to be the driving force behind that. Sure, you can be part of a bigger circle, an environment, a group of people that enable and empower you, as I've mentioned. But that's got to come from within. And until you make that decision that it's coming from within, it will never really be part of you. It'll be fleeting. This is where you get people that blow hot and cold very often. One day they're like, yay! The next day they're like, and it's because they don't have that internal driving force. They don't have that. They haven't made the decision to themselves to be optimistic.
It's the old spike in energy, up and down.
True. Because they're looking for that influence from outside. They're looking for people to give them optimism so they feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, as I mentioned before, optimism breeds the feel-good factor. It breeds happiness, would you believe? And optimists report being more happier in life. Okay. It gives you more vitality, mentally, more energy, a higher self-regard of yourself. So things like confidence and self-acceptance and things like that all sort of come from confidence and optimism.
Very important. Self-love.
Yeah. You're better able to cope with things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when things don't go wrong and you're an optimist, okay, you have that little down bit. You're allowed a little bit down bit. There's nothing wrong with that because it's good for the soul. But as long as 99% of what else you do is the up bit, not the down bit, you know. And I think that's very, very important. Optimism really does, or is one of the things that controls your moods, how you react to things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an optimistic person, you go, you know, you might go, oh. But then you know, within a few minutes you're up again, and then that's how it should be. But mood is very, very important to enjoy life, and morale is another thing as well. Yeah, if you're part of a team, let's say you're playing a team sport, you know, there's some people on the football field just moan the whole game, and as a referee, I get so cheesed off of it, you know. So you know who's going to get the yellow card. And that's assuming they do something else. But
this is important because I think many people that are going to listen to this podcast will be supporting a team or two in their lives. And you see this so often where a team flourishes and they do fantastically well. And then especially like a club team, okay, or a franchise team. And then you look at that environment around that team as a successful team, how their community flourishes, you know, and you get some people that their lives depend on whether that team does well or not. If that team is doing badly, their whole life is doing badly because that negativeness that just ekes out of them or oozes out of them. Whereas when their team is flourishing, you know, the whole community does well. You know, all those people that support that team really flourish and they do well. And if I look back at an example of South Africa winning the World Cup in 1995. Okay, South Africa was going through a really tumultuous time. You know, we were moving from apartheid into free democracy, and South Africa won the World Cup, brand new president. And the fact that we won it on home soil was hugely significant. I was there.
Yeah.
I went to go watch a game. I was working in hospitality, so I saw a lot of the players that were playing in the tournament, and you see that vibe that goes with them. You know, they on a tour, they're coming. It's a World Cup. The whole country gets behind that, and then I get goosebumps thinking about it now. And then it helped to appease the nation. The fact that we won, everybody came together, black, white, Indian, colored, doesn't matter who you were at the time. We all banded together. Circa 2019, South Africa is going through a really bad time, you know, with politics and corruption and crime and all of this kind of stuff. We go win the World Cup again, all right? And it just really boosted the economy in so many ways, the feel-good factor. And if you
that's one of the big things.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
Right? And sport can literally transform lives. And this is why I always encourage youngsters, whenever possible, get into a sport, because if you're playing a sport, a team sport in particular, you feed off that energy, you feed off that optimism, you feed off that vigor, that energy, that whatever, you know, that vitality, as you used just now. And it's so important. It really is from a social perspective. So whenever the Gunners are losing, I'm feeling for you, but I don't.
I actually, what I did, I managed to reduce the amount of time I was grumpy when they lost. No, I now I just go, oh, yeah, and just that's it, gone. It's gone. You know, it's. I think I want to be a victim, but there's no point.
No.
I mean, look. The bottom line is it's better for your health, and you know it boosts your immune system when you're in good spirits. You it prevents chronic disease. Another one,
Yeah. Yes.
and it reduces stress because it's easy to be stressed, and
this is the caveat, isn't it? It's very
well, the key for me, I mean, I can only talk for me because I'm a fella and whatever, is that, I use the box system. If I've got 10 things to deal with, there's 10 boxes.
Oh, I thought you were talking you're going to box your way out of it.
Yeah, no, not that boxing. No, that comes later if it all goes wrong. But no, you get something out of the box, you deal with it, and then you put it back in the box, and then you get something else out and deal with it. The trouble is with a lot of people is they lump everything together. Oh, my life's awful. My life's awful. Everything's going wrong. Well, if you had that attitude, everything will go wrong, and it will continue to go wrong. So that's why optimism is so important, and you get fewer negative emotions as well when you're optimistic, and that should be enough on its own, But the number one thing I like is about expectations. You hear me talk about on calls all the time. Expectations. I expect to win. I expect things to go well. Do they always? Of course they don't. But if you start off with the right attitude, you get more. Yeah. You get more of good stuff, and I think that's very, very important as well. So
because you're getting out, you're enabling yourself to get out ahead of it. Before you start something, if you expect the outcome to be good, you're giving yourself the opportunity to get out ahead. So I mean, why not? It makes kind of just it's logical sense as well, and the other thing is so important is just your day-to-day thinking, your in the moment day-to-day thinking. There's a very powerful mental diet which I started to practice, and I kind of do it subconsciously now. I don't really think about it anymore, but it's about not judging or not giving of your opinion, and thinking only positive thoughts for a period of 21 days. And you have literally a 7-second window in which to change your outlook. So if you're having a bad day, or if you have a bad moment, or if you have a bad thought that enters into your psyche, you have 7 seconds to turn that around. If you don't catch it within 7 seconds, you've got to start again from day one. And the trick is to try to go through 21 days without giving your opinion on something, and without judging anything, and without
that's negative.
Oh yeah. That's hard for anybody to begin with. Anybody. But if you can do it for 21 days continuously, you will start to notice how your natural optimism will change exponentially. Because what you're doing is that you're telling yourself that you don't need to be that person that is who you were before. You don't need to be that person.
You're right.
You can be somebody different, and you're giving yourself the tools to be someone different. And you've tried that for 21 days. If after watching this and hearing this, that interests you, reach out to me and Paul, and I'll share that with you by all means, please. Because I'll share it for free, because I got it for free, so I'll be happy to share it with you for free. And there's a little PDF that is entailed, and it shows you, it just tells you how to go through that for 21 days as a mental diet. It's extremely powerful. It really is.
So maybe we should try that from the 1st of July. Just as a bit of fun. Look, I think that positivity, which is what optimism is really, positivity radiates outward, and that's why it's best to be optimistic. You feel better.
That's the most important thing, isn't it?
And the clincher is, if you're in a relationship, it makes the relationship better.
It does.
Now, that doesn't mean to say you're not going to have little downtimes. You're allowed the little downtimes. You have to roll with the punches sometimes, but spend most of your time being positive. It's good. It's good for the soul. So,
you second time you said that, and remember, your soul is energy.
Yeah,
it's nothing more than energy, right? Now, energy. If you feel good, Why not? Then you're feeding your soul with positive energy. So just stick with feeling good.
Yeah.
But if complaining and moaning helps you feel good, well,
Yeah, go for it. You know,
then
do what you want.
go for it. Yeah.
So with that, I think we've done it. We've done what we can. Be optimistic as much as you can,
Yes.
you know, and get round lovely people that are going to cheer you up. And if you haven't got anyone sort of literally physically surrounding you, pick the phone up and speak to someone you know is just going to cheer you up.
Yeah.
But don't dump your stuff on them, though.
No, just listen to them and
Just listen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope, as I say, I hope you do. If you're the type of person who moans like, I remember the bloke's name. That was Victor Meldrew.
Okay,
Victor Meldrew.
Victor.
Woe is me. Woe is me. Anyway, and it wasn't keeping up with appearances. It was another one. It's I can't think what the name of it was. But don't be like Victor Meldrew. Don't go through your day moaning about absolutely everything that's going to go wrong before it does. You know. So chill out, enjoy life, and
just be grateful for what you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. Just be grateful you have something.
Well, I'm going to go out and referee a football game now. So, yeah, very positive. A load of under 18-year-olds that haven't, you know, they struggle with their attitude.
Oh, yes.
A little bit.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, they moan about everything.
But where do they get that from? Where do they get that from?
I don't know.
Their parents. The society.
No, I don't know about that. I'd have to. I mean, I know a lot of positive people who've got children who just, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just society in general. I really don't know. But no, I won't blame the parents totally. No.
As I said, parents, society,
yeah,
the environment, their community, they get it from that.
Yeah.
We're not born to be moaners. We're not born for that reason. We're not. It's not something that comes naturally to us, just to moan and complain about stuff.
Yeah.
It's taught to us.
Anyway, we're done. We've milked this
subject,
positivity and optimism. So have a fantastic day, everyone. We hope this has been useful. Try and implement some of it if you can, and let us know any results you get.
Yeah, results, and also any tools that you have, so we can share that with people as well.
Yeah. So if you want that tool that Warren was talking about, let us know. We'll make sure you get it, and we'll speak to everyone soon.
Arrivederci.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.